What's your connection with Fitzroy?
Well, I've lived here since I was 4.5, which came to this street in 1928.
Yeah.
So I've seen the changes over that period. I've been community-minded, got involved with youth clubs, camps, moved on to being on the local council, raised that stage to being mayor in 1981, 82. The 70s in particular was a time of grassroots democracy.
Mm-hmm.
We involved people and they were pleased to be involved and take part, so we could move things like take on getting the lead out of petrol and the oil companies to change, introducing traffic arrangements in Fitzroy that would fit for a new suburb designed specially for domestic living with children and so on.
Yeah.
So we were able to do quite a bit. So that's part of my connection.
So that was done at a council level when they're getting the lead out of petrol.
Oh yes, yeah. That was the whole council involved.
Yeah.
We ran jointly with Collingwood and Fitzroy. Each put up $2,000. We got Andrew Harrington as front man.
Yeah.
And we took on the oil companies. And by the time that we got going, everybody wanted to join in, including some members of Parliament of different persuasion, because they saw
yeah.
that it was vital.
Yeah. Excuse me, I've gone blank. And when was the oil campaign?
Hmm?
When was this campaign?
Oh, this would be. I have to think of the exact time, but it's late, like 79. Put it around that period.
Mm. So do you think that grassroots democracy has changed a lot since the council closed down in Fitzroy?
Oh, it has, because it's bigger municipality. Things are done as a more direct sort of level.
Yeah.
You still have some meetings, but the Saturday before I had my first council meeting, Paul Coughlin, now Chief Prosecutor, Barry Pullen, ex-MLC, and I were down Fitzroy Street. People were sitting on the footpath discussing whether the permit for the house next door should be to the street level, set back to the level of the other houses, or set back where they asked. Well, it's a good introduction to involving people.
Yeah.
And we did a lot more of that at all sorts of levels from then on up.
Yeah. So do you think that Fitzroy has its own unique political character as opposed to other suburbs in Melbourne? Or?
Unique?
Yeah.
Well, it's had a progressive, social-minded effort.
Yeah.
Dating right back, the Fitzroy Council took the Tramways Board to the Privy Council, and there's a little plaque in the town hall.
Wow.
And they won.
Yeah.
They wanted to charge them rates for using their roads and so on, and that was successful. So that's been in the city for a long time.
Yeah.
But we just did more of it and more effectively, I'd say.
Yeah. And is there any reason that you think that is? Why Fitzroy is perhaps more politicised than other areas?
Well, it was very rich in the old days, and it went through a time of being very poor.
Yeah.
And all the charities wanted to have a headquarters or something in Fitzroy to say they were working with the poor of Fitzroy.
Yeah.
So they went through that, and Fitzroy was hit fairly badly by the Depression of the 30s.
Mm.
So yeah, we get the idea of let's stick together and see what we can do.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a strong community spirit.
Mm.
Mm. And do you think that Fitzroy is going through another big change again at the moment?
Well, it is, as far as people are putting parkway floors into their houses and restoring them to what they used to be, but upmarket version of that restoration, and selling them for $4,000 to $5,000, which is quite high. So it brings different people in, but in this particular area, there's still a strong Labor approach. And
yeah, in North Fitzroy.
In North Fitzroy, despite the houses and the rates.
Yeah.
The rates have gone through the roof.
Really.
Mm.
Mm. So what do you see as some of the major threats to Fitzroy, in the future? Things that could undermine its character or uniqueness.
Oh well, we had the freeway go through. If they decided that they'd do something of that sort of variety to devastate the place, because it cut people off from one side to the other.
Yeah.
Elderly migrants, for instance, find it fairly difficult to cross there.
Right. Yeah, so do I.
See these things. Yeah, on a bicycle, yeah, you sure would.
Yeah.
But you will get, or you are already getting, houses this size pulled down and put up 4 units on them. Well, then you have people that come there to sleep, dash out to work, working long hours.
Yeah.
May do something with the Titchy Gardens and eat out in Brunswick Street or the city.
Yeah.
But they just haven't the time for the involvement.
Put the energy back into the
energy back.
community.
Some, like my neighbours, are taking their children up to Ceres for the Kingfisher Festival.
Yeah. So
they're still involved with the environment and their families. And as you see outside here, the traffic effort, that was because people living in the street wanted to cut down the speed of traffic.
Yeah.
And newcomers, do it physically where we would have done it socially.
Yeah. At least ask your neighbours.
Oh, well, hand out leaflets on each end of the street for a month.
Yeah.
And say that there was cameras and a speed limit of 40k. People get the message and drive slowly.
Yeah.
Whereas now they see whether they can do the slalom.
Yeah. And so what other groups have you been involved with in Fitzroy?
Oh, well, if you just look around, like Friends of the Mary Creek Management Committee.
Yeah.
I ran a latchkey kids club after school back in the early 70s.
Yeah.
Going back before that, I used to run drawing room meetings. Young lads not allowed to go out, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
So they'd meet in people's homes, and that was quite. Parents knew where they were, and it was okay.
Yeah.
What else? personally, I have 3 Asian students staying with me.
Yeah.
I'm involved with the Australian Asian Association.
Yeah.
We had a dinner the other night, which is rather good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have somebody from Sri Lanka here and you can have her introduced to a Sri Lankan table over there.
Yeah.
If an Indian girl and she can see some Indians there, which is a bit of a change.
Yeah.
I normally have Chinese living here, so there were quite a few Chinese.
Yeah.
As far as this house is concerned, it's been connected with Asians, and that's opened it to the world for me.
Yeah. So I suppose for a lot of visitors or new migrants to Australia, Fitzroy would be their first view of Australia.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, if you get back to meeting Anna Fratter, at her farewell Citizens Advisory Committee, which she set up and so on, but at her farewell, she said how her father had come as a migrant to Fitzroy.
Yeah.
And he'd gone off and grown a wonderful lot of tomatoes. Thought this was great, but he didn't know that you had to have a market for them before.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't sell. And so he came back home to Fitzroy to recuperate and start again. I thought that was rather good for migrants to think Fitzroy is home.
Yeah. And was there much community resistance when the Housing Commission homes were built? Or
well, it was sold as slum clearance. If you're thinking right down in Fitzroy, South Fitzroy.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Right. So, yes, some thought of it as putting the slums vertical instead of horizontal.
Yeah.
There was resistance to knocking down homes and churches and so on that had been there for a long time and established.
Yeah.
Up here, Brooks Crescent, we had the battle.
Yeah.
They wanted to develop it under the thing of some slum clearance.
Yeah.
And we could see houses that today would be worth 400,000.
Yeah.
To vandalise them in order to clear the area. That produced resistance. So you had people living in single-fronted houses getting out and saying, over my dead body, you know.
Yeah.
But we worked with the commission over lots of time. They wanted to deal with the body, so they dealt with the Fitzroy Council instead of the residents.
Yeah.
So we'd have meetings with the residents,
Yeah.
take their feelings to the Housing Commission, discuss them, come back with the answers, have another meeting with the residents, and it went on to where one commissioner says, look, there's 3 plans up.
Yeah.
You're putting forward a 4th developed by the architects working in with the agent. Don't worry. You get 5th, 6th or 7th plan that you want. And as long as you're perfectly satisfied with it, it'll go through. So when that was all built, people were asking where could they see somebody to buy one of these Housing Commission places they wanted to move in.
Really?
Yeah. Go down to Brooks Crescent and have a look.
They're not towers. They're not
no,
towers, I assume.
Definitely. No, that was where high-rise flats stopped.
In Melbourne or
in Melbourne.
Really?
Stop, full stop.
Yeah. When was that, Howard? Was it early 70s or?
Huh?
Early 70s or?
Mid 70s.
Mid 70s. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yes, so Fitzroy can be noted for action.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there was the pool campaign as well.
The pool campaign, that
Yeah.
was Kent's time. And,
Yeah, yeah,
you don't close our pool, that's as far as our children can walk,
yeah,
and they're used to it, and
Yeah.
it's safe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that today there's still that strong community spirit and people would protest against inappropriate developments or things that threaten the community? Do you think it's still here?
If it were a big issue,
Yeah.
yes, because you have the likes of North Fitzroy High School, and that's going to be reopened, so that was quite a challenge.
Yeah.
Forgive me, that's the name.
Yeah.
But the house just the other side of
Bunyip.
But House of Gentle Bunyip, that wouldn't come to me.
Yeah.
The House of Gentle Bunyip, they sat outside that day and night for months and months and months.
Yeah, that's right.
And now it's there. So yes, there's still a spirit in the community.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was quite a progressive outreach place in its day.
The House of Gentle Bunyip.
House of Gentle Bunyip,
Yeah.
you've got stacks of material there if you went over and asked for some topic or other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd be in your element.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much for your time.
Interview. All right. Yeah. Hope it went all right.
Yeah, it did.
And I was looking at you and not at that, so
No, that's fine.
comes okay.
Thank you.